some physical improvement to properties in a very targeted block where we have investment, where other people have investment. So our approach is to really improve the entire block so that, again, if we're investing in property, if homeowners are investing in their property, and we're eliminating some of the blight by way of strategic demolition. We've worked very closely with our partners, City Council and the Mayor's administration, and we're starting to really beef up strategic demolition, code enforcement, so that it all goes hand in hand to restoring the overall vitality and ultimately the confidence of the neighborhood. And we're taking it block by block. But a couple of other programs, we have our Green Jobs Training Program that we recently launched, which we will basically train young adults, what we call underemployed, at-risk young adults in some of the emerging green jobs. Those would include pre-construction, deconstruction, and urban agricultural landscaping. And we're going to basically provide, in-house classroom training, but also on-the-job training for these individuals, and then ultimately help them either find a job or help them, go to the next level of their education. Because we believe that's a target of a segment of the population that basically needs a second chance. They've had various types of challenges and struggles, and we're going to make sure that they have an opportunity to have a second chance. So,
well, if they feel a part of the neighborhood, they may not be so frequent
exactly.
to break into it,
That's
destroy
right.
it.
Absolutely.
They've invested some of their sweat equity into
Absolutely.
maintaining it.
And then we have neighborhood work days where once a month, if not more, we get together with the neighborhood, with other community groups, and we basically bring out volunteers to just do various types of neighborhood cleanups, from paint ups to just neighborhood cleanups to even more sophisticated levels of neighborhood improvement.
I saw one thing to interrupt your thought. Where the board was at the window was painted with curtains, so it looked, at least when you looked at it,
that's right.
It was pleasing to the eye. It wasn't just necessarily a piece of flat board up in the window.
Yes,
I like
we
that.
call that artistic boarding.
I like that.
Yes, it is an approach that we're taking. I'd also like to say that there's been organizations that have really stepped up to work with us on our work days, one being Tabernacle Evangelical Church, and they're actually located in Austintown. But they've been a huge partner with our neighborhood work days. They send out 30, 40, 50 people at a time to help us.
That really defines your neighbor.
Indeed, indeed. And then, again, organizations like the Idora Neighborhood Association that's been working tirelessly in their neighborhood and just totally committed to the work.
Let's talk about the farm.
Yes, the Iron Roots
farmer,
Urban Farm.
I'm kind of interested in knowing about that.
Absolutely. The Iron Roots Urban Farm is a property that we acquired late last year. It's a 2.5-acre site that also has about a 3,000 square foot structure on it that's been primarily vacant and abandoned for many years. That site will actually serve a multi-purpose. One, we will literally train community gardeners and market gardeners to take their community garden activity and develop micro businesses out of it so that we begin to create economic opportunities. It's one thing to train people and create community gardens, but many of these families need, secondary and even primary sources of income. So we want to help begin to create micro enterprises and business opportunities and entrepreneurship opportunities right there on that site. The building itself, we want to eventually renovate. So we're certainly in a capital raising mode right now to renovate that building and develop it into a multi-purpose training facility. And so we want to train, aspiring either community development entrepreneurs, individuals that are looking at some of the emerging opportunities that are resulting from this whole new approach to neighborhood revitalization, and just make it a multi-purpose community facility. So we're excited about that. We hope to raise enough funds to fully renovate that building this year, and we're just excited about the Iron Roots Urban Farm and what that can generate.
Your board's challenged to keep up with you.
Yes.
So George, that's your mission.
It's right, and President and I talk about that all the time, about the balance between being very aggressive and sort of making sure everyone's on board and reaching out to the community, and it's a balancing act that we continually work at. I wanted to just mention, piggybacking on the Iron Roots Farm, that whole trend toward local food production is, you might know, pretty much a growing trend.
Yes, it is, for natural grown foods.
Right, and so there are all kinds of advantages to that. You know, obviously the repurposing of vacant property, you know, the potential employment of individuals and economic activity, but also just in terms of nutrition. You know, locally grown food, you know, being more nutritious than food that's been shipped and
Processed.
sitting around and on the shelf for
And not
for
only
days.
growing it, but teaching them how to use it. We are in a society now where everything is bagged, processed, and quick. Whereas that old adage, you know, you can give them a fish or you can teach them how to fish and they'll eat
Absolutely.
for days. So I like that, and I know a lot of the neighborhood gardens, they grow the produce, but they're not sure what to do with squash. You know, they don't know exactly what to do with the green bean when it's fresh picked.
Right.
How do you prepare it? You know, they're used to picking it up, opening up a can,
Right.
throwing it in the pot. So that's another level that I understand that a lot of the neighborhood gardens are getting into, is how to use
Right.
the food. Stay with us, we come back. There is more, believe it or not.
Very good.
Welcome back, and thank you for sharing a portion of your Sunday morning with me and my guests, Presley Gillespie and George Garchar from YNDC. Have to shorten that long word.
There you go.
Challenges for you as you're moving ahead, because you're still reasonably young as an organization. But the mission that you have is something that really has lasting benefits for all of us if we're going to improve the quality of life in our community. So for the board, George, what are you looking at?
Well, for the board and the organization, I'd say an ongoing challenge for us is, and I used the word balance before and I'm going to use it again, the balance between the need to stay focused and targeted, if you will, to make a significant impact in a given neighborhood, balanced against, you know, there's lots of need throughout the city. And trying to find a way to correctly balance those two, to some degree, competing goals is an ongoing challenge.
Accepting the fact you can't be all things to all
Right.
people with the high demand and limited resources.
Correct.
And for you, the energy is there. What's your challenge going to be?
I would echo George's comment on the challenges, and I think just the overall scale of the problem. Just, you know, looking out across the landscape of the city of Youngstown, the Mahoning Valley, there's so much to do. And the challenge is really developing and creating the resources to really get it done. I mean, we're working very hard, and I think it's just an ongoing challenge to maintain a level of patience, that this is going to take time, as well as having patience in our community, that this is going to take time. We didn't get here overnight. We got here, it took 50 years to get to this point. It's going to take many years to get out of this. So just communicating and articulating that it's going to take time, but just having the patience and really just getting the work done. And
It's a
I think that's
collaborative
big challenge.
partnership for so many different organizations, so that you are not, in a sense, duplicating,
Right.
but you're enhancing and working side by side. As you mentioned, your partners are vast, but that's going to increase as knowledge is made available about who you are, what you do, and how you do it. I'm sure there are others out there who are going to say, you know, this is something I really would love to be a part of.
Right.
How's that one?
Good. It's a good summary.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I was just so excited when I saw what you do. And if you're interested in knowing more about this organization, the number to call is 330,
480-0423
and you're located at?
at 201 East Commerce Street, the Commerce Building, Suite 140, downtown Youngstown.
And I'm sure you and other members are always available to come out and talk to organizations about what you do, because we got to get the word out. There are a
Yes.
lot of individuals who may have seen your truck, but don't necessarily know what you do.
Absolutely.
And when they go through a neighborhood and they can see things happening, but they're not quite sure who to give credit to for the work being done, because you don't always have a sign out there.
We're going to, absolutely, and we're going
That was my
to.
the point.
Yes.
You don't have a sign out there.
We're looking at that. Believe me, we're looking at that. And we're going to be doing a lot more neighborhood engagement this year. I just want to touch on, we're going to be having a big homeownership fair this spring that will hopefully help get the word out. We're going to be launching new programs. We have a community loan fund that we're going to be launching
that's
soon.
exciting.
And we're going to be doing a lot more this year.
Gotta
I think
go.
this will be a great year.
Looking forward to it. As you can see, there's just so much going on. I want to thank you both for joining me, and I will see you next week. That's our cookie.